Today, I want to talk about something I've been thinking about for several weeks now. Have you ever heard of a self-limiting belief? The more I think about it, the more important I think it is. And I think it could be a reason why you might be struggling with your English. If you're new here, hello, hello. I'm Jean. I'm an English teacher and content creator. I've been teaching English since 2019, and you're listening to English Extras, a podcast designed to make English make more sense. If you learn something new today, I encourage you to subscribe so you can continue to learn from me. I post at least one video every week on YouTube and several short videos on Instagram and TikTok. If you're already subscribed, thank you and welcome back. Please consider sharing this episode. It's the best way to help support my work completely for free. So let's talk about self-limiting beliefs. First of all, what is a self-limiting belief? It's a belief you have about yourself that is keeping you from something, from trying something, from succeeding in something. It limits you. Often, this belief is not based on reality, or it's based on one event that had a strong emotional impact on you. Maybe you made one embarrassing mistake speaking English in the past, and now you believe you will always make an embarrassing mistake when you speak. If you think, I will always feel awful when I speak English, and you don't practice English because of that, that's a self-limiting belief. Self-limiting beliefs are powerful because we are more likely to believe our thoughts about ourselves instead of what other people say about us. Our beliefs are the biggest drivers of our behavior. They create a filter through which we see the world. When we have new experiences or learn new information, we check our beliefs. Does this experience or information fit with my beliefs? When we take new information, compare it to our beliefs, and reject it, not because the information is false, but because we don't want it to be true, we fall into a trap called confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when we accept information that supports what we already believe, and we ignore information that counters or contradicts or goes against what we believe. Here's what confirmation bias could look like in one of my classes. A student says, I always make mistakes like this. I know as the teacher, this isn't true. There are many times when this student does not make this type of mistake. So why does this student say always? Because the student only pays attention to the information that supports their belief and ignores the information that doesn't support their belief. The reason confirmation bias is a problem in this context, there are many problems with confirmation bias, is because it strengthens self-limiting beliefs. Remember, self-limiting beliefs influence how we interpret experiences and information. If our self-limiting beliefs are strong, then when we have opportunities to learn and grow, we often do not take the opportunity, and so we stay exactly the same. Most people don't want to stay exactly where they are right now. Most people are unhappy about something in their lives. Maybe you want to make more money or lose weight, or because you're listening to this episode, you probably want to become fluent in English. You might be feeling very frustrated right now. You probably understand a lot of English, but you don't understand enough and you don't speak the way you want to. Why? You know you're not happy with your English right now. Do you want to change it? Are you changing it? What's the problem? Let's check your self-limiting beliefs. Let me ask you some questions, or rather, just one very important question. Do you believe deep in your soul, all the way to your core, do you believe you can become fluent in English? It might seem like a silly question. You might immediately say, "Of course I believe that. Of course I can learn English. That's not the problem." If you already deeply believe it, fantastic. Then this episode will only be good listening practice for you. But if you're struggling right now in your English journey, I want you to really think about what you believe, because your beliefs are everything. What we believe about ourselves influences everything we do, and more importantly, everything we don't do. While you think about it some more, I'm going to tell you about some ways that self-limiting beliefs have changed my life. When I was in middle school and high school, I believed I wasn't good at science and math. I know why I believed I wasn't good at math, because my math scores, my math grades were never very high. But they were not horrible grades, and in fact, I had worse grades in other classes, like history, but I never thought to myself, "Oh, I'm so bad at history." So I don't know why I believed that about science. Maybe because science wasn't always easy for me. Honestly, the why almost doesn't matter. What matters is that I had this belief. I believed I wasn't good at science, even though I thought it was interesting. I really enjoyed my earth science class in high school. And when I went to college, or university, but we usually say college in America. When I went to college, I took earth science classes to fill the science requirements for my school. But the entire time I was in college, I never questioned this belief. I still believed all the way to my core that I wasn't good at science, even though I really liked it. Do you know the impact this had? Because I believed that, I never once even considered career options in a science-related field. I limited myself to English literature because English was comfortable for me. Also, when I was in high school, my experience learning Latin created the belief that I was really bad at learning languages. So when I started studying Mandarin Chinese in college, I still had this belief, "Oh, I'm not good at learning languages." And every time I did something wrong in Chinese, I took that information as evidence that my belief was correct, and I ignored all the things I did right in Chinese. Remember, that's confirmation bias. Because of that, when I went to Taiwan, I didn't take the opportunity to really properly learn Mandarin because this belief was holding me back. The choices I made related to my career and my language learning, two really big pieces of my life, were heavily influenced by the beliefs I had about myself and my abilities. And these were beliefs I had for years. I didn't change my belief about my science skills until a month ago. I started watching Star Talk on YouTube, which is a science education channel created by Neil deGrasse Tyson, a famous astrophysicist and educator. I really enjoy Star Talk videos where Neil deGrasse Tyson explains a concept in physics or math or astronomy, etc. And I don't just enjoy learning about these topics. I understand the concepts and I have questions beyond the concepts. I want to learn more. This made me think, well, wait a second. I'm not good at science. What am I doing? And I stopped and I thought about it, and I finally realized I'm holding a belief that isn't true. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized how many possibilities I had never explored because of that belief. Maybe I would be a scientist right now if I hadn't had that belief. So think about it this way. What future are you currently creating? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your ability to learn English? Really think about it. What choices are you making or not making because of your beliefs? The reason I'm so passionate about this is because as a teacher, well, and as a person too, I guess, but especially as a teacher, I know that the biggest difference between successful students and struggling students is mindset. Put simply, students who believe they can become fluent do become fluent. And students who don't believe they can become fluent usually don't become fluent because they give up. I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to give up. Here's what I want for you. I want you to deeply, truly, honestly believe, know in your very bones that you can become fluent, that you can be consistent, that you can do difficult things, that you can keep going. I want you to remember all the times you were right in English, not just focus on all the times you were wrong in English. I want you to have clear eyes. I want you to think, this is difficult now, but it won't be difficult forever. I can learn this. If you don't believe it yet, that's okay. Pretend. Pretend you believe it. Beliefs, feelings, and actions are all connected. If you change one, it will start changing the others. Pretend you believe, and one day you will. There are some amazing resources about this topic I would love for you to check out if you'd like, and I'm going to link them all in the description. First, the transcript for this episode. If you want to learn more about the terms from this episode, I give clear definitions and example sentences in the transcript, which is completely free. Second, there's an amazing TED Talk by a researcher named Amy Cuddy. The talk is titled, "Your Body Language May Shape Who You Are," and it's an important discussion about the power of mindset and the connection between beliefs, feelings, and actions. If you want to learn even more about that, Amy Cuddy has a great book called Presence. Third, I have 2 book recommendations. These books are best if you are around a B2 level or higher. One is called Grit by Angela Duckworth, and it's about how the ability to keep going is more important than anything else when it comes to success. The other is called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and it's about just that, mindset, and why it matters so much. Carol Dweck is the researcher who popularized the term growth mindset. In fact, I have an entire episode about how important mindset is for becoming fluent in English. So if you'd like to learn more, you can check that out in the description as well. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, my friends. Bye.